We are back here with some Dallas Cowboys win now, Madden 22 franchise, and we are in the final week of the season, week 18. Now, what we are going to do, since we have clinched everything, we have clinched the NFC East, and we have clinched the number one seed in the NFC. So everything is done. We're good to go. There's no really reason to play this game. We're going to take out all of our starters, make sure there's no injuries, and go into the playoffs as healthy as we possibly can be. We've rested up for the last few weeks and practice as well. But what a season. 13-3 at the moment. Possibly 14-3. We've won 9 in a row coming up to this final week. It's just been insane what has happened. Now, as for the rest of the NFC, you can see, yeah, we're good to go. Tampa Bay cannot obviously catch us. They're 2 games back. So even if we lost this week and they won, we're good to go. 49ers are done. We're good to go for that number one seed. And we'll just advance through this week. But yeah, what a season. After coming off that loss, I've said it a million times. After that Vikings game, coming off the bye, a little bit of, confidence rolling, and then you lose to Minnesota pretty badly. Didn't look good, but after that, it's just been rolling. Now, as for the rest of the NFL, looks like the Ravens ended up winning their Week 18 game and then winning the division. So 3 teams out of the AFC North come out to the playoffs. That's probably going to be expected for sure. Texans, probably the surprise of the season, win the AFC South at 11-6, and then the Jaguars 10-7 win, get a wild card spot. That's crazy. Patriots at 11-6, but they've lost 3 straight coming in, so they're not looking good. Chiefs with the number one seed at 14-3. Titans miss out on the playoffs as well, so that's a big one. Bears and Vikings are your playoff teams from the NFC North. Bears 10-7 win the division, and Packers, Aaron Rodgers 8-9, they miss out. Tampa Bay 11-6, they are the 2 seed. Tom Brady trying to repeat as champs. Cowboys, obviously, we won that division 14-3, but nobody else gets in there. Giants lose 2 straight and cannot get in as the 49ers win the NFC West. Cardinals beat the Seahawks in the final week, and it doesn't matter. Seahawks are in as well. So those are your wild card teams. Here is the lineup here for this playoff. You got the Ravens, Jaguars. You got the Browns at Patriots. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Houston Texans. You got the Seattle Seahawks versus Tampa Bay. It's a good matchup. Arizona versus San Francisco. And then Minnesota is going to go to Chicago. So you got a little bit of a division matchups there in the NFC. And we'll sim through there here in a minute and see what happens in the wild card round and who we will take on in the divisional round. But what a season. Dak Prescott, 44 touchdowns. Career high from him. We did beat the Eagles in Week 16. I think it was like a Week 18. I think it was like 42-35 or something like that. So 44 touchdowns for Dak. What a season. Really good season. And speaking of what a good season, Zeke, 2,255 yards, 27 touchdowns. So shatters the record of Eric Dickerson. Just one short of Tomlinson. Beats Emmitt Smith's Cowboys record of 25 touchdowns. So now that's his record. Pollard, not too bad. 422, 5 touchdowns. When a guy obviously goes for 2,000 yards, you're not going to have a lot. Receiver, CeeDee Lamb. What a season. 98 catches, 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns. Amari Cooper still reaches over 1,000, even though he missed 3 games. 8 touchdowns. Gallup falling a little bit short of 1,000 yards. Still a fantastic season. Zeke also had 5 receiving touchdowns as well. So that puts him over 30-plus touchdowns for the season. And Dalton Schultz, 37 catches, but 7 TDs as he came through, definitely in the goal line area. As for defense, actually didn't have anybody reach 100 total tackles. Parsons with 81. Jalen Smith leads us with 96 total tackles. But really the sack numbers. DeMarcus Lawrence, 20 sacks. That is his career high. Randy Gregory with 14.5, who just dominated the final few games. And going down the list here with picks, we got Malik Hooker with 5. Fuller coming over. He comes with 4 interceptions. And really, it was just a tale of 2 seasons. That, first 5-6 weeks of the season, defense was not good. We were 23rd, I believe, in the league. Just couldn't really stop anybody. Fired the defensive coordinator. And, I don't know what it really changes. I mean, you can't really change too much in the middle of a season. you can kind of get a little bit of different direction. But whatever that did, it woke up our defense, and all of a sudden, it was just night and day. And this defense ends up being the number 2 defense in football. I think we're right there in top 5 in scoring defense as well. So, man, what a job this team has done. And with the offense we got going, because we got the number 1 offense in football, we can run the ball, we can control the clock, but we can pass it as well. You know, this is the whole thing. This is the win now. You know, win this Super Bowl now. Whole point of this franchise, and right now we're in great position to get this done here in this first season. And like I said before, if we win a Super Bowl, that's it. This franchise is over. Obviously, still waiting for the scouting update. Hopefully, right now it's September 10th. Hopefully, this thing drops soon. I am hoping. I don't want it to drop, they said September. I'm hoping it's not going to drop, September 28th or something like that, because, it's just rather start the franchise as soon as possible. Obviously, I want everything to work out. I don't want any glitches or anything like that, but still, hoping the scouting update drops soon and we can start this franchise going on, which, if you're still here in this video, that's a little bit of a discussion too. I was going to go with the Chicago Bears. That was always the thing. Did a poll about a month ago. Bears were kind of the number 1 team people wanted to see, but I've also seen people with Philadelphia, and the thing with the Bears is, it's kind of like the Dolphins last year. You already have a quarterback in place, a rookie quarterback. Who knows what Justin Fields is going to bring. I think he'll be decent. But, do we go with maybe like Philadelphia? Possibly stay in this division? They have some question marks as well. But, maybe do we go somewhere else? I'd rather stick in the NFC, because last year with the Dolphins franchise, it was the AFC. So I'd rather stick to the NFC. But also that competition, division-wise, that's the other thing too. I think the NFC North, really, other than Green Bay, Minnesota, I guess you could throw in there. They have a veteran-laden team. There's no doubt about it. So maybe Minnesota, but that's another team. Could you possibly do Minnesota? They have a lot of veterans. They have Kirk Cousins, who is probably, this is going to got to be his final year of really proving anything. So if they don't do anything, that team could be in for a total rebuild. So that would be interesting to see as well. Let me know what you guys think below. Let me know. Just ignore all that and stick with the Bears and go for it, because I want you guys to obviously enjoy this as well. I want you to see teams and see something that you want to watch as well. Obviously. And so let me know. Just stick with the Bears and just ignore that, or maybe possibly move on to another team for the franchise, because we still have time. Obviously, that scouting update hasn't dropped yet. Now, getting back into this franchise for Dallas and looking at the wild card round, Pittsburgh is going to go into Houston and take care of business. There you go. Pittsburgh moves on. And now New England is going to win 42-28. One thing you'll notice with all these wild card games, very high scoring. Now, Cam Newton, still a quarterback of New England, obviously started this before he got released. So he's still in there and leads this New England team to a playoff victory against Cleveland. So they will move on to the divisional round. As for the next game, 42-28 once again. Jacksonville, 28 points in the second quarter. They will beat the Baltimore Ravens. Trevor Lawrence, 4 touchdowns in his first playoff game ever, and 4 interceptions for Lamar Jackson. Man, that is not a good game. Turning the ball over 4 times. That's going to be an absolute disaster. Let's see who got the picks here. Just not many sacks, and it's 3 picks for Shaquille Griffin. Man, he just owned Lamar Jackson in that ball game. Chicago's going to win 35-28. Cousins, 3 touchdowns. Fields in his first playoff game, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Not too bad there. Obviously you don't want to turn the ball over, but still enough to get the victory. Robinson with the touchdown. As for the defensive side of the ball, sacks Khalil Mack with 4.5, so he just took care of Kirk Cousins all day. San Francisco is going to win 35-28. They beat Arizona in that divisional matchup. Jimmy G with 3 touchdowns. Colt McCoy with 2, so that means Kyler Murray in that final week must have got hurt. Man, that is a big deal there. That's tough. That could have been a victory for Arizona. But no, when you got a backup quarterback in Colt McCoy, he's serviceable, but he's nowhere near Kyler Murray. That is a big one there. And then the big one, Seattle goes into Tampa Bay. Brady did everything you can. You can see in the fourth quarter, he tried everything, could not get it done. 5 touchdowns for Tom Brady, not enough. Seattle goes into Tampa Bay, takes care of business, and wins. So Tampa Bay and Brady are done in the wild card round. And that means, since they are the 7th seed, that's who we're taking on. Here's the matchups. Jaguars are going to go to Kansas City. Our first game of the divisional round is us. So Seattle is coming here to take on us, the Dallas Cowboys. And then you got Pittsburgh at New England. Ben Roethlisberger trying to exercise some demons there against the Patriots. And then you got the Bears at the 49ers in the other divisional NFC playoff game. So, Seattle, you know what you got. Russell Wilson, 30 touchdowns, 16 picks. Obviously going into Tampa Bay, getting a big victory. That is huge. As Russell Wilson doing everything he can to get back to that Super Bowl and get him another Super Bowl ring after the disappointing, not running the ball with Marshawn Lynch back in the day and trying to get back there. I mean, this offense is loaded. DK, obviously an absolute beast. Kiki Kuti actually had a pretty good season. Gerald Everett, a solid tight end. Tyler Lockett is always a solid slot receiver. He is fantastic. And now you got Dwayne Eskridge, who gives you, speed, can be an absolute burner. So they have a really good passing game. And, I would say we've obviously improved over the season, but that's probably our weakness going forward. So we're going to do our best to get some pressure on Russell Wilson, because we cannot allow him just to sit back there, find his receivers, and coming off that big playoff win, they're going to be ready to go. They're going to be firing on all cylinders, no doubt about that, and they're going to be good to go. Take a look at their rankings. So look at the defensive rankings for Seattle as we continue to go down the list here. They are not good defensively, yardage-wise and points allowed. They are not very good. Obviously coming in, I believe they're a 9-8 So, they just barely made the wild card. They're the final seed. They barely made it. They lost to Arizona in week 18. So they barely make it in. They have some problems defensively. And you can see they're bottom half of the league in points allowed. So we might be able to take advantage there. Now, offensively, that's where they're good. Top 10 offensively. Not the greatest rushing team. That's always been a problem for Seattle, without Marshawn Lynch. But they are very good. Russell Wilson passing the ball. They're still a top 10 team, points per game. That's what you got to do. You got to slow down Russell Wilson and these receivers. So that is going to be the key going into the ball game. As you can see right there, they're number 6 in the league in passing yards. That's the majority of their offense. So the run game, they just get whatever they can get, but the passing game is the big one. So this is going to be a big matchup. Little skill upgrade for Leighton Vander Esch before we get in. We're not going to get into this game today, probably tomorrow. But Vander Esch with an upgrade. He's up to an 84 overall. That's good to see. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. Playoff games, you just never know. Teams have the momentum. Teams are ready to go. You're going to face better teams. They're in the playoffs for a reason, no doubt about it. And when you're facing a quarterback like Russell Wilson, who's been there, he's won a Super Bowl, it's going to be obviously a tough ball game. And for a franchise in Dallas where haven't really had any playoff success in the past 20 years. So a little bit of pressure on us, but we got to do business, get it done here, and get to the NFC Championship game, and hopefully we can get that done. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support. If you can hit that like button, that'd be awesome, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.